25,000 watts ng totoong tunog ng FM radio.
Totoong pinalakas, totoong pinagtibay ng mga batikang mamamahayag sa paghahatid ng news,
Public service,
entertainment,
music,
information at inspiration para sa bawat kapatid, bawat Pilipino. Ito ang 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and Play with Alex Eala.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, tsumbe, sibay, lakay, amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
Power and Play with Alex Eala. The new look Gilas Pilipinas at ang new game ni Alex Eala. Pag-usapan po natin yan sa New Year. E di paano? Bangon na! Power and Play na! Power and Play with Alex Eala. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat mga kapatid. Mula po sa ating TV5 Media Center sa ating 1PH Studios. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum, Cherry Tigo, there's more to our cars, Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo, at Arena Plus, astig sa sports. And of course, we are powered by Smart. Live more today. At sa ating pong mga Filipino-Chinese na syobe, mga kuya, mga kaibigan at mga kapatid, Happy Chinese New Year po sa inyong lahat mga kapatid ha. Sabi nga nila, Gong Si Fat Chai o Kung Hei Fat Choi. Kung ano man po ang inyong naiintindihan. Happy Chinese New Year, Happy Lunar New Year. Naku sana po'y maganda naging selebrasyon kagabi ng bisperas ng Chinese New Year sa ating pong mga kaibigan na sumusuporta po sa Power and Play. Si paring Elmer Ngo, Happy Chinese New Year pare. Si partner Romel City ng UAAGI, Happy Chinese New Year. And of course, kay Boss RSA, sa lahat po, kay Ma'am Zonito, Tamase, kay sa ating po mga kaibigan, of course, mga kasama sa Joyride, Boss RC at ang buong pamilya, partner Sherwin Yu, Happy Chinese New Year po sa inyong lahat. Sabi nga nila, nagdadala po daw ng bagong sigla, bagong swerte, at of course, bago pong pag-asa ang bagong taon. Anong tawag na? Wood Dragon. The Year of the Wood Dragon. Naku, ano kayang ibig sabihin yan, yan kaya ay may mga pangitain, Meron ba yung mga swerteng kulay, swerteng numero, Tayo po'y, alam mo, basta hindi po masama at hindi naman nakakasama sa inyo, maniwala po kayo. Basta walang nagagawang masama sa inyo. Pero ako po, naniniwala na tayo po ang gumagawa ng ating swerte. Basta po tayo'y maayos ang pamumuhay, wala po tayong tinatapakan sa buhay, dadating at dadating po ang kabiyayaan ng bagong taon. Pero sa lahat po ng ating mga kaibigan muli, isa pong maligayang bagong taon sa ating pong Lunar New Year. Well, talking about mga pagbabago, mga kapatid, ngayong araw pong ito pag-usapan natin ang mga pagbabago na naganap sa, of course, ating national team, ang Gilas Pilipinas. Of course, may bago na pong kapitan ng barko, may bago na pong piloto ng ating eroplano ng Gilas Pilipinas. Yan po ay hindi po unfamiliar, kilalang-kilala natin si Coach Tim Cone. At mamaya po ating po siya makakausap live dito sa ating palatuntunan para malaman natin kung ano po ang mga plano at programa ni Coach Tim Cone para sa ating national team na malapit na yung unang paglalaruan nila, yung unang window ng FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. Yan po ay magaganap ngayong buwan na to at ang ating makakatapat yata dyan ay Hong Kong at saka Chinese Taipei. Of course, ang malaking balita ay ang pagbabalik ni Justin Brownlee sa ating bansa. Ating pong kakamustahin din ang sitwasyon ni Justin Kabayan Brownlee sa pagbabalik po niya sa basketball at sa Gilas Pilipinas. Live po yan, mamaya-maya. Abangan niyo po yan ating interview with Coach Tim Cone. Of course, pag-uusapan din po natin ang bagong laro at mga bagong pananaw ng ating tennis sensation na si Alex Eala na napakaganda ng pagsisimula ng 2024. Nakakuha po siya ng kanyang unang professional doubles title doon po sa India. Tumaas din po ang kanyang ranko sa pinakamataas na rank sa kanyang kasaysayan, sa kasaysayan ng Philippine women's tennis. At of course, siya po ay patuloy na magandang ipinapakita sa women's tennis tour. Mamaya po ay ating ipapalabas ang ating po naging panayam sa kanya kagabi. Nung siya po ay nagbalik sa Mallorca, Spain. Mamaya rin po ating makakausap ang Pangulo ng Philippine National Shooting Association, yung PNSA, para namang kamustahin ang isa na namang sport na sa akin pong palagay dapat ating tutukan. Ito po ang shooting, yung pong practical shooting, rifle, skeet, trap, pistol. Marami po yan na mga disciplines na dapat pong tutukan ng PNSA. Kakamustahin po natin mamaya kasama ng kanilang Pangulo mismo, si Congressman Mike D. ng Isabela. Mamaya po abangan nyo yan sa ating second hour. But of course, ang maraming ang pinag-uusapan ng bayan ngayon ay ang muling pagkakabalik ng Magnolia Hotshots sa Best of 7 series ng Commissioner's Cup. Pambira! Isipin niyo yun, mga kapatid. Last week, pinag-uusapan natin dito nila Juan Banal at ni Coach Eric Reyes yung simula nung serye ngayon kung saan parang dominante ang San Miguel Beermen. At pagkatapos pong naka 2-0 ang San Miguel, marami pong nagdududa kung makakabalik pa ang Magnolia dahil sa napakabigat na offensive weapon ng San Miguel. Nakabalik po ang Magnolia noong Miyerkules. Tinalo nila ang San Miguel para matapyas ang lamang. At kagabi po ay naitabla na ng Chicken Templados Hotshots ng Magnolia ang seryeng ito. Sa likod po ng isa na namang brilliant defensive game ng Magnolia. Of course, kumamada din po ng 26 na puntos si Tyler Bay. At ang maganda dito nakabalik na sa starting lineup si Ian Sanggalang. Sa akin po malaking bagay yung naiambag ni Ian Sanggalang sa kanyang pagbabalik sa starting unit ni Coach Chito Victolero. So tabla na po ang ating serye, mga kapatid. 2-2. Naging best of 3 na lamang ito at ating aabangan siguradong, sabi naman natin at the top of this series. Nung nagsimula ito, napaka-interesting itong series ito. Two of the top teams, of course, number 1 ang Magnolia, number 2 ang San Miguel after the elimination round, at ipinapakita ng Magnolia na ang depensa pa rin ang kanilang sasandalan pagdating sa kanilang laban sa San Miguel. Tingnan natin kung makakabalik dito ang San Miguel. Samantala, kahapon mga kapatid ay nag-award na ng Best Player of the Conference at ng Best Import of the Conference ang PBA sa Commissioner's Cup. And alam nyo, nakita ko yung listahan noong botohan. Nanalo po si CJ Perez ng Best Player ng 2023-24 PBA Commissioner's Cup. Siya po yung nakakalap. Medyo malayo-layo ang kanilang score. Ika nga ng 1,055 points. Malaki ang kanya nakuha sa media votes. At of course sa players vote si CJ Perez. Congratulations kay CJ Perez. Alam niyo, ang pinagtataka ko lang ni isang Magnolia hotshot hindi pumasok sa top 5 ng best player of the conference. Hindi po ang ibig sabihin niya walang magaling. Ang ibig lang sabihin po niyan, mga kapatid, itong Magnolia talagang team effort. Talaga pong lahat sila ay nag-aambag kahit pa konti-konti. Kaya naman maganda ang kanilang ipinapakita. Wala po pumangalawa si Christian Stanhardinger, pangatlo si Arvin Tolentino, pang-apat si Calvin Oftana, at pang-lima si Scotty Thompson. Walang isa na mula sa Magnolia na pumasok sa BPC. Pero still, nandun po sila sa finals. Sa Best Import naman, nanalo si Jonathan Williams ng Phoenix Super LPG. Medyo ito malayo-layo ng konti. At ito yung nakakapagtaka sapagkat marami nagsasabi dapat si Tyler Bay. In fact, pagdating sa stats, tabla sila. Halos ni Tyler Bay. Silang dalawa ni Jonathan Williams. Pero nanalo si Jonathan Williams sa media votes, although panalo si Tyler Bay sa player votes. Sa kaduluduluhan po nanalo si Jonathan Williams 1,017 points kontra sa 908 ni Tyler Bay. Nandun din si Benny Boatwright na third place at si Tony Bishop ang pang-apat po dun sa best import of the conference. So very interesting mga kapatid ang mga developments. And of course, again, nakikita natin kung bakit ang basketball ay nananatiling team sport. Kahit na anong mangyari, kailangan pa rin 5 ang magpapanalo sa iyong koponan. Alright, marami tayong pag-uusapan ngayong araw pong ito. Simulan na natin muna sa ating balitaan sa Sports Weekly Highlights. Tabla na! Kagaya na sinabi natin tabla na po at back to square one ang PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals matapos talunin ng Magnolia Hotshots ang San Miguel Beermen sa game number 4. Sumandal sa depensa ang Magnolia para makuha ang 96-85 win. Nanguna para sa Hotshots ang import nilang si Tyler Bay na kumamada ng 26 points. Double digits din ang ipinukol ng locals na sina Paul Lee, Mark Baroka at Ian Sanggalang. Sa ibang PBA news, lumipat na sa Blackwater Bossing si James Yap. Lalaro si Big Game James sa bago niyang team sa simula ng Philippine Cup ngayong buwan. Ang Blackwater ang ikatlong koponan ni Yap sa kanyang 2 dekadang paglalaro sa PBA. Magpapalit naman siya ng jersey number mula number 18 papuntang number 15. Aba, medyo may pahiyang din si Konsihal James Yap. Naku, good luck kay James Yap sa kanyang bagong koponan. Sa ibang basketball news sa Pinas, nagpataw ng ban ang MPBL sa 40 mga manlalaro. Aba, grabe to 40 mga manlalaro at officials dahil yan sa issue ng game fixing. Aba, naku, ang bigat nito Bukod dyan, inalis na rin ng MPBL ang limit sa mga pwedeng kuhaning ex-pro players ng mga koponan. Naku, yan ang mahirap pagka napakalaki ng liga no? Well, sana nga makontrol ito ni Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes at sana'y makausap natin siya next week. Tingnan natin kung ano magiging developments tungkol dito. Sa ibang balita naman kay Manny Pacquiao, humahaba na ang pila ng mga pangalan ng gustong makalaban ni Pacman. Ayon sa mga report, bukas ang 8th Division World Champion na bumalik mula retirement para kalabanin sina Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis o si Conor McGregor. 2021 pa ang huling official fight ng pambansang kamao. Samantala, malungkot na balita naman sa volleyball. Hindi pa nagsisimula ang UAAP volleyball season, natapos na agad ang taon ni Adamson middle blocker Laureen Toring. Kasunod yan ng season-ending ACL injury sa Adamson Sr. Inaasahang tutuloy na sa pro level si Toring oras na makarecover siya mula sa kanyang injury. At yan po ang buod ng ating mga balita ngayong linggo sa Sports Weekly Highlights. Naku marami pa po tayong tinututukang mga balita. Isa dyan, mga kapatid, ay ang sa NBA of course na ngayon ay malapit na mag-All-Star game, yung kanilang kalagitnaan. Well, a little over their halfway mark ng regular season. Yan po ang markado ng All-Star Weekend. Of course, ang isa pa pong development sa NBA ay yung kanila pong tinatawag na NBA trade deadline. Ito po yung panahon kung saan tumitigil yung pong panahon na pwedeng magpalitan, mag-trade ang mga koponan ng mga players. Ganun po ang NBA, hindi po maya't maya ay pwedeng mag-trade ng player. Meron po silang mga takdang panahon kung saan doon lang po pwedeng magpalitan ng player. Ang susunod po dyan ay yung tinatawag nilang buyout period. Yung pong pwede nang kumalas ang isang player at bilhin na yung kontrata niya para siya po ay maging free agent. So ayan po iaabangan sa mga susunod na araw at linggo. Pero yung pong NBA trade deadline ay nagtapos. Bagamat wala pong malalaking talagang big names na naglipatan noong pong NBA trade deadline, ay napakarami pa rin pong galawan. Ang isa po of course dyan ay yung mga, ito bigyan ko lang kayo ng rundown. Si Doug McDermott ng Indiana napunta sa San Antonio Spurs. Or rather, baliktad po napunta si Doug McDermott sa Indiana, Marcus Morris napunta sa San Antonio Spurs. Si Patrick Beverley, mga kapatid, mula sa Philadelphia, napunta sa Milwaukee, kapalit si Cameron Payne. Si Royce O'Neal, malaking pangalan nito. Pagdating sa tres at sa depensa, siya po ay napunta sa Phoenix at ang pinalit po dyan, 3-team trade po yan. Palitan sila ng Brooklyn at saka ng Memphis Grizzlies. Kaya po mga kapatid, ito rin ang ating pupulsuhan ngayon pong araw na to. Mga example po lamang yan. Of course, ang aking pong koponan Philadelphia ay nakuha po si Buddy Hield mula po sa Indiana Pacers. Ito po ang ating pupulsuhan doon sa mga mahihilig sa NBA at may mga koponang sinusundan, lalong-lalo na yung mga nasa Fantasy League. Ito po ang tanong ng Pulso ng Bayan, hatid sa inyo ng M2T Drinks with malunggay, okra, and luya. Drink your gulay and fuel up on energy with M2T Drinks. Ano po ang pinakamalaking move para sa inyo sa NBA trade deadline? Ulitin ko po yan, yung sa mga mahihilig sa NBA at sinusundan ng mga developments dyan. Ano pong pinakamalaking move para sa inyo sa NBA trade deadline? Kung gusto nyo pong magpadala ng inyong kuro-kuro, mag-post lamang sa aking pong Twitter account or X account at Noli Eala o di kaya sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play. Mamaya po ay ating ihimayin yan at may chance po kayong makakuha ng M2T drinks with malunggay, okra, and luya. Alright mga kapatid, at this point, bago tayo ipasok natin ang ating ating mga unang guest, paalala po mula sa Joyride Super App ang inyong pong bagong kasundo. Yung pong top-up promo ng Joyride kung saan pwede kayo manalo ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits para po sa Joyride Delivery, Joyride MC Taxi, Joyride Taxi Cab, and Joyride Car at yung pong pinakabagong Super Taxi ng Joyride. Napakadali, i-download ang latest version ng Joyride Super App, kuhanan ng screenshot ang app's home screen at isama nyo po ang inyong pangalan. Ipadala ang screenshot sa Power and Play FB page via PM. Isama nyo po ang inyong buong pangalan at registered mobile number to have a chance to win 1,000 pesos JR Pay wallet credits for 5 winners po yan tuwing Sabado. At of course, namimigay rin po tayo ng Joyride Limited Edition Aqua Flask. Dito naman ay again, kuhanan nyo lang po ang inyong pong kasama yung rider nyo o driver after you book your MC taxi or Joyride car. Yung pong creative picture dapat kasama yung rider or driver. Isama nyo po yung hashtag of the week at ipadala sa Power and Play FB page via PM. At ito po ang ating hashtag of the week, mga kapatid. Hashtag Joyride Vibes. Ba? Ganda ha? Hashtag Joyride Vibes. Yan po ang isama nyo sa inyong creative picture para manalo ng limited edition Joyride Aqua Flask. Alright, at this point, we are ready to get the ball rolling, ika nga, sa ating pong mabilis na usapan sa Fast Take. At ang Fast Take ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo. There's more to our cars. At ang kasama po natin ngayon sa Fast Take, nako mga veterano, mga sinusundan ko to sa lahat ng kanilang mga sinusulat, hindi lamang sa kanilang mga pahayagan, kung hindi sa kanila pong online posts. Walang iba kundi si Abac Cordero ng Philippine Star at si Reuben Terrado ng Spin.ph. Magandang umaga, Bac and Ben. Thank you. Happy Chinese New Year sa inyong dalawa.
Pachoy. Chairman.
Morning.
Kung hey Pachoy. Kayo ba ay nagpaputok kagabi?
Nanood lang, Cong.
Nanood lang. Ayan. Ben, ikaw marami kang paputok pero hindi sa fireworks. Yung mga nilalabas mo mga balita, Reuben, kaya ako natutuwa sundan ka sa X.
Thank you, Kom. At yun nga, hindi na tayo nakapagpaputok kagabi dahil nga busy at katatak may game kagabi.
Oo, yun talagang malakas na putukan din ang nangyari sa game number 12. Well, mamaya magiging topic natin yan. But let me begin first yung aming pinupulsuhan ngayong araw na to. Para sa inyo, hindi masyadong mabigat. Wala naman masyadong marami nagpalitan sa NBA. But meron ba kayong significant trade na nakita doon na sa tingin nyo ay magpapalit sa direksyon o sa fortunes ng isang koponan? Abac, ikaw, meron ka bang nakita magandang trade doon?
Ako parang wala namang, among the top teams, parang sila pa rin. The usual suspects pa rin. Ito mga trades na ito saka absent ako last week ko sa NBA dahil busy tayo sa...
Oo. Well, Ben, did you see any significant trade na sa tingin mo makakapagbago ng direksyon ng isang koponan?
I think, Kom, yung New York Knicks, no? I think
Yes.
they really intend to be a real good contender, no? Kaya pinakuha nila sila Bojan Bogdanovic and the rest of the crew. So parang sa mga trades na ginawa nila, they became a little bit deeper, and doon mo makikita na they are serious in being a title contender, no? Yung mga ginawang trades nila na maybe minor to yung hindi naman siya earth-shaking, but still it improves the team.
Maganda yung sinabi mo. And I like that also, yung Bogdanovic trade. I think na makakatulong yan, lalong-lalo na sa kanilang front court na good player, experience. Ako, I also like the moves ng Dallas. I think si Gafford, Daniel Gafford mula sa Washington at si PJ Washington mula sa Charlotte. Malaking bagay yan. They need those two players, defensive-oriented, who can also bring the energy. I think it will be very interesting moving forward. Let me ask you back. I know that you are very involved pagdating doon sa naging botohan sa PBA. Ano ang naging... kasi nakita natin ang dikit na laban ay yung sa import. And many people thought Tyler Bay would win it. Bakit si Jonathan Williams sa tingin mo ang nanalo?
Well, it's the overall siguro among those who filed their votes. It's the overall impact on the team. Well, both right, of course. Not just at the finals, but siguro yung the longer stretch of na nagpanalo sa team.
Ben, on the other hand, best player of the conference, nanalo si CJ Perez. And ang sabi ko nga, ang katakataka dito, ni isang tiga Magnolia, wala dun sa nominees. How significant is that? Yung pagkapanalo ni CJ. And of course, yung anong kahulugan ng walang Magnolia hotshots dun sa listahan?
Yung kay CJ Perez, si CJ halos lahat na ng individual award na panalunan niya except itong Best Player of the Conference. So for me, it's well-deserved yung kanyang accomplishment for this conference. And yung na-mention mo about Magnolia, I think I would agree with you doon sa sinabi mo kanina, no, before we entered dito sa ating fast take, no, na it only means that Magnolia really plays team basketball, no, na wala talagang nangingibabaw na player na talagang masasabi mong superstar eh. I like that what they're doing there, na plus they are really a defensive oriented team, wala masyadong mi-score. They play good defense, great defense in fact. So I think yun yung nakikita kong dahilan eh. Because they play as a team and they really play good defense dito sa conference na to. So I think that's a good way, in a way good yun na it's a testament na they really play team basketball.
Oo, and obviously yan ang nakapagpabalik sa kanila dito sa seryeng ito. Let's go and let's talk about this sa ating pong mga issues this morning. Alam niyo na ang drill. Bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, huwag magagalit. And of course, walang tama, walang mali. Ang opinion nyo lamang ang mahalaga. 1 minute per issue. And we begin with the first one, talking about the PBA Finals. Nako, kung saan tabla na ang serye 2-2. It's a virtual best of 3 series na lamang. So ang una nating issue, anong prediction nyo sa natitirang mga laro ng PBA Finals? I'll begin with you, Abac. 1 minute, go!
Namalengke lang ako, Kom. The series is tied. Ano? Parang bigla naging UAAP Finals na best of 3 na lang. Kaya ang prediction ko, Kom, tomorrow's game is more like the championship game. Ano? I have yet to ask our chief statistician, si Fidel, if how many teams na nag-champion after trailing 0-2. But it's been done. San Miguel nga, from a 0-3 hole, diba, nanalo sila. So what Magnolia is doing, winning games 3 and 4 has been done before, no? But how are they doing it? It's the numbers, ano? Yung point production from ang laki ng binaba ng San Miguel, ano? From an average of 105, 106 yata, it's down to 82. Saan napunta yung 20 points, ano? Yan naman ang gusto ng Magnolia for its defense to work and keep the scores low. We'll see tomorrow if San Miguel will wake up. The series, I think, is tied, but Magnolia has not yet regained the upper hand, I think, unless they win 3 in a row.
Wow. And sabi nga nila, it takes 4 to win. Kaya talagang mabigat yung serye ngayon pa rin. Alright, Ben, same question. Anong prediction mo sa natitirang mga laro ng PBA Finals na ngayon ay virtual best of 3? 1 minute, Ben. Go!
Kung para sa akin, mahirap pa rin i-predict itong series na to, no? But definitely, it has become very interesting, no? Initially, many thought that it's going to be a sweep dahil nga puro tambakan yung first 2 games. But now, we are tied at 2 games. But I won't be surprised if Magnolia pulls this one off, no?
Wow.
I feel that they have already figured things out with how to defend the high-octane offense of San Miguel. Plus, yung offense nila, dumarating na rin. No? Yesterday, parang they are already hitting their 3-point shots. They have more assists. But again, I don't rule out San Miguel pa rin. No? If both right will get these shots, I believe they can come back in this series. But so far, sa nakikita natin, Tyler Bay has been playing very good defense against Benny Boatwright. And I think yun ang kailangang pigilan ng San Miguel, how to play offense against that stifling defense ng Magnolia.
Well, alam mo, I cannot agree more. It's very difficult talaga to predict this series. Maraming I said law of averages would come to play. It didn't happen in game 2 pero nangyari nung game 3. Talagang kumbaga yung sunod-sunod na panalo ng San Miguel na putol, and then all of a sudden ito ang Magnolia looks like they have found, sabi nga ni Ben, the number, they found a way, the solution to beat San Miguel. Pero as we know, napakalalim ng San Miguel, and their coaching their coaching roster is also very deep. Kaya alam natin marami pa mangyayari doon. But at the end of the day, I've always believed that the defense is much better than offense pagdating sa championship. And I think Magnolia is playing the best defense so far. Sana nga ay manatili sila dun sa kanilang napakakulit na depensa. And of course, yung pagbabalik ni Ian Sanggalang sa akin, malaking bagay yan. I think he is going to be the factor that may just push Magnolia to the top and make them win their first championship. But again, it's still anybody's game. All right, let's go to our second issue of the morning. Mamaya makakausap ko si Coach Tim Cone ng Gilas Pilipinas. And alam naman natin na maganda ang kanyang inahanda na programa. We know ang kalidad ni Coach Tim. Hinawakan niya na ang national team program back in 1998. So ang tanong, ano ang gusto niyong makita sa bagong programa ni Coach Tim Cone para sa Gilas Pilipinas? I'll begin with you, Ben. 1 minute, go!
I want to see yung team develop into a real team. I like yung philosophy ni Coach Tim sa Gilas na what he wants is he wants the team to stay for 4 years, which I think it's going to be impossible, but maganda pa rin na at least yung core of maybe 8 or 10 players would stay for a long period of time. I think this is the first time na ganito ang gagawin ng Gilas, no, na a PBA or a professional team would be staying for this long period of time. Sabi nga ni Coach Tim, 4 years. So I like to see this, no, na how will this pan out, no? At least there's some sense of continuity dun sa ating program, no. I also want to see siguro na yung Gilas would play in the Olympics sa Paris, no. I know it's going to be a long shot, but maybe, who knows? It's going to be huge for the program, but again, it's going to be difficult.
Ano ako doon, kinalibutan ako doon. Sana magdilang anghel ka, Ben. Talagang yan ang hinahabol natin at yan na lang siguro ang kulang sa achievements ni Coach Tim Cone. Abac, same question. Ano ang gusto mong makita sa bagong programa ni Coach Tim Cone para sa Gilas Pilipinas? 1 minute, Abac, go!
Yes, Cong. Ako kasi more than a full-time coach, ang gusto ko sana talagang makita is a full-time team. Ano? But since alam natin, fielding in the PBA players is the key, mahirap gawin yata yan. So it will be too much to ask. Ano? Pero with Coach Tim Cone, nabawi na natin yung Asian Games, di ba? Now the job is even more difficult. How do we keep the crown? Ano? Pero si Tim, alam mo, he's full of solutions in his mind, ano. And of course, basta na dyan yung NSA, yung RSA, yung MVP, di ba? Sila Pamwili and the governors. Gusto ko makita lang sana is yung earlier formation ng team ko. Even on paper, siguro we can do away now with the formation of a 24-man pool. Tumatagal lang Name the 12, 15. Pinangalanan na ni Coach Tim. So it's a good mix, ako tingin ko. And of course, sana mabawasan yung distractions, yung mga players na ineligible, mga hindi makasakay ng aeroplano. Diba? Mga ganyan, mabawasan lang yan. Magagawa natin lahat yan.
Alright, well, alam mo, napakarami niyan. And of course, alam natin, magagawa lamang niya kung may kooperasyon ang lahat ng stakeholders dito sa ating national team, particularly the PBA, of course. And I agree with both of you, but alam mo, actually, this is another iteration, version ng Gilas Pilipinas. Ang dami na niyan. Mula nung ginawa natin back in 2008 from the Raiko Toroman days to the 2 chapters of Chot Reyes and the Tab Baldwin version. Ito na yung panglima na version ng Gilas Pilipinas. I like it. A dedicated national team without any pool. That was the idea when we started. Pero collegiate yung ginamit natin dyan. Ako, isa lang ang gusto ko makita sana, in addition to what has been done already, sana itong team na to ay payagan ng PBA maglaro as a team in one of their conferences against imports ng mga PBA na may 2 import ang bawat team ng PBA. I think it will be a good way to help this team grow. I think it will help the PBA, and I think yung 2 imports na yan ay makakatulong din sa mga koponan as they join regional leagues in Asia. So again, everybody dapat manalo. Sana nga ay matupad ang ating pangarap na ang Gilas Pilipinas ay maging matagumpay under Coach Tim Cone. Alright, third and final issue of the morning. Nako, paspasan natin to. Ito ay tungkol sa nangyayaring EASL o katatapos lamang na regular season ng EASL kung saan yung dalawang team natin, TNT, Tropang Giga at ang Meralco Bulls ay, kulelat sa Group A at Group B. At ating pong nasusundan yan dahil ating nako-cover ang EASL. At nakakahiya, lalong-lalo na yung paglalaro. So ang tanong, anong adjustments ang dapat gawin ng PBA para hindi naman mapag-iwanan ang PBA teams sa EASL? I'll begin with you, Abac. 1 minute. Go!
Well, tignan natin how the other teams are doing it. Kasi parang yung format and the schedule of the EASL do not favor our PBA teams. Isipin mo, Meralco and TNT, these are two very competent teams, highly talented and motivated. Pero, and yet, they ended up with, 1-5 yata.
Oo, tama.
Sayang, dahil sa Cebu pa naman gagawin ng Final Four in 2 weeks yata or 3, It would have brought the house down. Yung mga Cebuanos, alam mo naman yan, avid fans yan. Kung meron sanang PBA team doon, ang laking bagay na the Cebuanos are behind you, Instead, 2 teams from Korea yata, one from Japan and another one. Sila yung Taipei team, ang nasa Final Four. Ang hirap mahirap sa PBA. But they will find ways. Yung board, I think, they will soon talk this over, What format to use. Gagamit na lang ba tayo ng champion team o yung hindi pumapasok sa quarterfinals, yun ang papasok natin, doon tayo nahihirapan yata na. Siguro pumili na lang tayo. 1 team each from the MVP group and 1 team each from the SMC group. Parang tuloy-tuloy sila na lang ay ESL 10 teams natin.
Wow, that's a new bagong idea yan na pili na lang from both conglomerates. That will be interesting. Ben, same question. Anong adjustment ang dapat gawin ng PBA para naman hindi tayo laging kulelat dyan sa EASL? 1 minute, Ben. Go!
Kung tingin kong adjustments na kailangan gawin, na-mention mo na yan dun sa Gilas na topic. I believe that the PBA should adjust and have a conference na 2 imports. Napansin ko kasi dun sa kampanya ng TNT and Meralco na yung kanilang second import does not play in the season. So that puts the teams, TNT and Meralco, in a disadvantage agad dahil syempre iba pa rin yung magkakasama talaga naglalaro. Even Meralco nga, yung 2 import nila, hindi talaga naglaro nung season until yung isang import nila is napilitang maglaro sa PBA because na-injured yung kanilang PBA import. So, but another thing siguro, the PBA should also ask themselves, how serious are they sa ESL? Because yun siguro, dun mag-i-start yun kung seryoso ba tayo sa ESL, maybe dun magkakaroon ng adjustments, So I think yun yung unang muna siguro sagutin, Kung seryoso ba tayo, paano ba tayo? Will we be competitive? Gusto ba natin maging competitive sa ESL or we just want to join? Siguro yun muna yung unang dapat sagutin.
I love that, Ben. Talagang yun ang akin din una kong sasabihin. Ano ba talaga ang PBA? Seryoso ba kayo dito sa EASL? Kasi kung seryoso kayo, gagawa kayo ng adjustment, gagawa tayo ng programa. Alam nyo, hindi po madali yung laban doon, pero maganda po para sa PBA. Lalong-lalo na at ang ating mga player ay ma-expose sa ibang mga players. At ito po yung isa pa, yung adjustment na gusto ko sanang gawin nila, itakda na nila yung hatian doon sa $1 million. Kasi hindi alam ng mga players, sinasabi ko nga yan $1 million mga kapatid ng premyo dyan. Kung sabihin ninyo na ang $1 million mahigit kalahati, 70% o 700,000 na mapupunta sa mga player. Sa tingin nyo, hindi magpapakamatay yung mga player na yan. Ang problema, hindi natin alam kung yung prize money napupunta sa kumpanya at bonus lamang ang nakukuha ng player. I think these are things that the PBA board must decide in order to motivate and at the same time, hindi naman tayo mapahiya sa mga kasama natin dito sa Asian region. Gentlemen, Happy Chinese New Year. Ang ganda ng background mo, Abac. Yan ang gusto ko. Nakikita ko yung mga sinusundan mo. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Happy Valentine's Day na din.
Yun! Ay, kita mo na.
Chinese New Year, Com.
Happy Chinese New Year. Happy Valentine's. Maraming salamat sa inyong dalawa. Thank you so much, mga kaibigan. Mga kaibigan po natin si Abac, Cordero, and si Reuben Terrado ng Philippine Star at ng Spin.ph respectively. Alright, at this point, isa muna pong paalala mula sa ating mga kaibigan sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Gigalife app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Gigalife app do for me? Check your balance. Monitor your current subscription. Top up using debit credit card. Subscribe to the latest Giga promos. Monitor your data consumption. Auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live more today! When we return, kasama po natin ang head coach ng Gilas Pilipinas, Coach Tim Cone sa Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Joyride at ng Arena Plus. Ang oras po natin, 8:41 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by M2 Tea Drinks with malunggay, okra, and luya. Drink your gulay and fuel up on energy with M2 Tea Drinks.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Sherry.
Pinaniniwalaan, pinagkakatiwalaan, pinaninindigan. 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Dear Sky Cable subscriber, switch to Signal's postpaid plan and enjoy up to 3 free months with no cash out by showing your Sky Cable pay TV bill. Apply online at qrco.de/signal apply. Message us at m.me/buy signal. Call #88-555 or visit a Signal store. Learn more at qrco.de/switch to Signal. Promo ends March 21, 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Per DTI Fair Trade Permit number FTEB-181755, series of 2023. #move on to awesome. #move to Signal.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Totoong abot na abot ang True FM saan man panig ng Pilipinas at sa buong mundo. Basta may Pilipino. Sundan at ilike ang Radyo 5 True FM sa Facebook, TikTok, Instagram at sa X o Twitter. Dito na tayo sa totoo. True FM. Tunay na kapatid. Maaasahan sa radyo at online.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and Play with Noli Eala. Muli po binabati natin ang isang shout-out ang mga kaibigan natin mula sa Xavier Phillies Group, yung ating po mga co-parents dyan. Happy Chinese New Year sa lahat po ng ating mga kasama, sila Chris and Judy, Anthony and Lily, si Kaloy and Fatty, Eileen and Joey, everyone. Kasama po natin si Kathy and of course si Arnel at si Howie at saka si Tiny. Happy Chinese to all of you. Alright, happy Chinese New Year to all of you. Alright, at this point, mga kapatid, we want to bring our next guest. Well, of course, ang Gilas Pilipinas has always been a high-profile program, ang national team program ng basketball. And now there's a new man at the helm, a new captain of the ship and a new pilot of the aircraft. And he's not an unfamiliar face. Again, he is the winningest coach in the PBA. His second tour of duty as a permanent head coach of the national team. No other than our good friend, Coach Tim Cone. Happy Chinese New Year, Coach Tim.
Hi. Hey, Tom. It's great to be here. And yeah, Chinese New Year. I got an actual Chinese New Year celebration tonight.
Oh,
First time
wow.
probably in my lifetime.
That's terrific. I'm sure it'll be very, very exciting. There's a lot of things I want to get to, and of course, breaking up your being named as finally the permanent head coach of Gilas. I mentioned it. There's no better man to be at the helm. And again, congratulations, Tim. I know this is a tough job. So let me begin with that. Given the fact that this is a long-term commitment, obviously, and the expectations of the whole country, and given, of course, your job as the head coach of Ginebra, how hard was this decision?
Well, it's almost like a sacred, position. That I'm like holding it up. The Gilas team has always been the national team, even from the the 90s when it was Sonny and then me and then Norman and all that time. It was always a special place to put yourself in. And yeah, there's a lot of pressure. I lived through Chot's World Cup experience when they were booing him during introductions and stuff like that. And I know how tough it was on him. I know how tough it was on his wife and his family.
Yeah.
I lived through that with him, and it was heartbreaking at times. And so you see that, and it's kind of like you kind of putting your hand in the fire, so to speak. And but I just felt like if all the stars aligned, if we were able to do it the way that we thought would be the best way to do it, then it would be something worth doing, because the honor is so immense, and the challenge is so incredible.
Yeah, well,
but just like I just want to say, just by like any other team, you're not going to win all the time. You're not going to win every game, and that's kind of the way I'm going to approach this. So we're going to try to get better, improve, and grow as we go along, and continue to build a team. And I've always felt that's my strength, is building a team and getting it better over time. And that's what I hope to do here. There'll be some ups and downs. I realize that. There'll be some disappointments. But I think that with the passion that we have for basketball, there should be some successes along the way as well.
I'm pretty sure there will be. And knowing you, I know how much you focus and dedicate yourself to this. I want to ask you a little bit about just your agreements with the SBP, of course. How long is your term as national coach, Tim?
Well, it's basically year by year. I've got the first year, and if things go well, then we'll take a look at the second year. And if things go well, they still want me, I'll look at the third. But the idea from the very beginning was that we try to keep a continuity going from year 1 to year 4, which is the Qatar World Cup in 2027.
Right.
So that's the ideal.
Okay.
Now, whether that a lot of things can happen in 4 years, and so we'll just take it, put one foot in front of the other and take it, the old one day at a time thing, and 1 year at a time thing, and see where it leads us.
I know you're a very thorough person, Tim. Were there any specific parameters that you requested, conditions, authorities, or even roles that you requested, or at least autonomy in terms of the program? Is there something like that?
Well, I think that the whole process of it was, talking to various people and then finding out, how they saw the vision that they had and how they wanted to do things. And so, when I interviewed with the SBP, that was the number one thing. What's your vision? What do you want to do it? How do you want to do it? And can it be done? And so that was something that I presented, and they came along with it, and then we presented it to the stakeholders.
Right.
We had a meeting with the PBA, we had a meeting with the NCAA, the UAAP representatives from there, and we presented the idea how we were going to do this, because I think we felt from the SBP as well that if we don't have the total involvement of the stakeholders, then there's really no chance for anything to get off the ground. And we've seen that over the years, the difficulty of keeping a team together, the difficulty of getting players. Oftentimes, the stakeholders say, we'll give them to you. And then they talk to the players separately and say, don't do it. Things like that. And so, we really wanted to get everybody all on the same page, really be transparent in how we want to do things, put a schedule out really, really early so everybody can bend their way around it. And that's really the goal of this particular program, is to be as efficient as we can and not disrupt the stakeholders. So that the stakeholders will continue to give us our time to prep and the players that we need to move forward.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, this is not the first time that you will be handling the national team as the head coach and a guy that will prepare a team for both the short and long term. So let me ask you, back in '98, of course, you handled the Centennial team. How different or similar is this situation from 1998?
I think there's both. There's a lot of differences and a lot of similarities. The similarities are that we, and at that time we felt like we, balance-wise, we put the best team together. We had full support from the PBA to get, the players that we wanted. We did have a more of a tryout phase then, and we did, that was something that was new to us, and we wanted to try it out. So we got a pool of players. I think we got like 24 or 28 players in the beginning, and whittled it down, and it was a very long process of doing that. And coming from there and learning from that is the fact, and even from the World Cup, the more players you have, the more you have to teach, and the more you have to figure out who's the best fits and everything. But that takes time, and when that takes time, again, you're the stakeholders or the guys who are paying those players to be a part of what we're doing on a daily basis. They're wondering, what are you going to do about our league and our team, and it gets to the difficulty arises. So this time we said, okay, let's just try to go with 12. And obviously there's going to be injuries, there's going to be age factor, there's going to be chemistry factors, even perhaps attitude factors or whatever, that are going to force changes on the team.
Right.
But the idea was to go with 12 and again, minimal disruption.
Right.
Everybody knows who they are. They know who they are. They're not trying out anymore. And that's where it goes from there. The differences are, in '98, I had like 3 months of preparation or 4 months of preparation. We went to the States. We did Jones Cup and everything. And again, the problem with that is the PBA had to play without their stars, and it was a difficult conference for them, and just not something they could do conference to conference to conference, miss their stars and not let them play or have them get injured while they're playing with the national team. So again, those things were factors in our minds coming into this one, things we learned from then.
Right.
And also watching some of the other programs around the world. Iran is one of our primary examples. They kept the team together.
Right.
Despite their league, they still kept the team together for years, and they dominated, the Asian circuit for 8-10 years.
Right.
With Haddadi and that group.
Yep.
So that was the idea here. We come in, we'll have less preparation time, but less disruption. The preparation time will be cumulative. In other words, we'll use the one window to prepare us for the second window and prepare us for the third window, and so on and so forth. So it's like playing in the first conference. You use that conference to get a little better, and you get better into the second conference in the PBA, and then by the third conference, you think you're pretty good by that time because you've gone through all that stuff that you've done. And so it's kind of that idea, except to do it over 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I've said this to many people. The Gilas program, since we started it back in 2008, has had so many iterations, so many versions. From the Raiko Toroman group, where there was a dedicated team of collegiate players without any pool, and then it became the first shot version where it was an all-pro team with no pool, semi-dedicated. Then it became the Tab Baldwin, where it was all collegiate, mainly collegiate, with a hybrid with a pool. And then, of course, the last one was Chot, where there were all pro, again, hybrid rather, but there was a big pool. Now yours is a dedicated team, a hybrid version, and again, you're only keeping it at 12 players. So let me go to that, Tim. What did you consider when you put together the 12 names? What was the consideration? What was the factors that led to that, and what kind of team are you constructing with this 12 team, with these 12 names?
Oh, well, first of all, we wanted a group that was both veteran and young. We didn't want to have a full veteran group. We certainly didn't want a whole group of young players as well. I'm a big believer that, and there's different philosophies, but one thing that I've held through my career is that you develop your team through young players. They get, young players will improve and get better. But if you want to win, and you want to win now, you have to have veterans. You win through veterans. So the idea with our team is that we have a veteran group and we have a younger group. The veterans will show the way, we hope, for the younger group. And we hope to try to be as good as we can be right now and still have growth with the younger players as well. So if you look at the young players, Carl Tamayo, Kevin Kimbao, Kai Soto, AJ Edu, they're all 22, 20, 23, 22 years old and below. And then you've got, the veterans and Junmar and Scotty Thompson and Newsom and of course you have the veteran natural player and Justin Brownlee. So that was mixed was very important for us. The other thing was to look at it positionally. Mm-hmm. I mean, you talk about want to bring in your 12 best players, but what if your 12 best players, 8 of them are point guards? You can't have 8 point guards on your team, so you've got to have a balance. And so we looked at it positionally, filling out the center position, filling out the the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1. We wanted to have, I'm a defensive first coach, so we wanted to have guys that were more defensive minded, more of a two-way type of team. We wanted to have really good size, and we felt, with Junmar and Kai and AJ Edu, we fill out the size, 3 guys that are, around 6'11", 6'10", 7 feet.
Yeah.
But we also wanted to have versatility. That was my big failing I felt in '98 is that we did build a big team to play China because they had Wang Zhuzhu and Menk Batir, 2 7-footers on that team that were NBA guys and dominating Asia.
Yeah.
And we felt if we were going to get a gold, we had to be able to match up to them. So we brought the EJ Phl, Andy Siegel, Marlo Aquino to try to match up to those guys.
Right.
And we did. We did a great job of matching up. We almost beat China. We played them great. And but we got bushwhacked by Korea, who was a small, skilled team that beat us, and we didn't have that versatility in our lineup.
Right.
Well, I didn't see us as a versatile team. I only saw us as a big team. So hopefully, we have that versatility also. Even though we have size, we still have versatility where we can put out, 3 or 4, 6, 7, 6, 5, 6, 8 guys and still be a quick up and down team if we need to be.
Yeah, one of the players, of course, that checks all of those boxes that you mentioned, all of those characteristics, is Justin Brownlee, who is returning to Gilas Pilipinas and returning to basketball, Coach Tim. And a lot of people want to know how Justin is. What is his current condition, Tim? And of course, how has he mentally prepared himself after this period of hiatus?
Well, there was first of all, it was a great sacrifice for never not using him this conference.
I know.
We really wanted to use him this conference, and of course we couldn't. But there's always, as the door closes, always windows that open, and the window for us that opened up was that he was coming off his surgery of his foot. I don't think people realize how injured he was during the Asian Games and how much he had to battle through a lot of pain.
Right.
To get that gold medal and to do the things that he did. He basically was in China rehabbing literally, 18 hours a day doing rehab, waking up in the middle of the night, doing rehab, waking up at 2, then waking up again at 4:30 and doing rehab. And it was an amazing time for him. But, he battled through it. So, he would, as much as he could have played for us, it maybe was a blessing in disguise because now he was able to, rest and recuperate a little bit more than he would have. And so that in a way was a little bit of a bonus for us. So right now our trainers are with him. He's working out every day now. And they say he's pain-free, which is great news. And they say he's in good shape. He worked out every day while he was in the States.
Terrific.
Knowing that this was going to happen for him, it was going to come. He didn't just sit at home and feel bad about it. He kept in shape. So, we feel real good about him. We feel like, he is such a great basketball player, but he's also such a great representative of what we want to present as a nation to other nations as we play the game.
Well,
he's such a perfect representative for us, and that's what I appreciate him even more than the basketball stuff he does for us.
Well, we've seen all of that, of course, in the way he has handled himself, both before the suspension and during the suspension, and now coming back to the national team. Let me ask you about you picked about 4 guys that are playing in Japan, as you mentioned, Kai, Dwight, AJ, and of course, Carl Tamayo. What is the commitment of these players, Tim, to the national team? How much can they play? Are they going to be available in all of your tournaments?
That's a really good question. We actually thought hard and long on how many or how, even if we would include the players from Japan, because the logistics of getting them in and getting them in on time, and the difficulty of that would be. I don't want to say we limited the number of guys we wanted from Japan, because there were other guys that we really wanted to come in, but we felt logistically it would be better that we went with the 4, actually the 3, because Carl Tamayo now is back in Manila, although we expect him to go back out again, probably to Japan or Korea. But at the moment he's back in Manila and living here. But there's a standard clause. I think, I'm not sure everybody understands this, but there's a standard clause in the FIBA contracts around the world that state that if there's a FIBA window or FIBA national tournament that goes on, the mother teams have to release by contract their FIBA players to the mother team, so to the national teams. So all those guys are free to come in for every window that we have. Now that does not include Asian games, and that does not include Southeast Asian games. And we'll have to, rethink that a little bit and how we do that. They may not be available for that. And we may have to fill out their slots and add them to the core of the team that we already have for the Asian games and for the Southeast Asian games. But that's another story altogether.
Yeah.
But right now they are eligible to come in, and they are eligible to hit it's another thing, because if you want to prepare for 3 months or 2 months or a month even for to go into a window and get great preparation, the Japanese guys would not be available because they would be in Japan. They would not be able to be here.
Right.
We used to have Monday practices with the World Cup team. Even the Asian Games team, we had Monday practices during the season. Back in actually 1998, we had Monday practices as well. But obviously we will not be able to do that because the Japan guys can't fly in on a Monday and practice and fly back out.
Right.
So that's no longer an option for us. So really, it's that's that preparation window that we have. That's going to be it. Yep. And we have to make the most of that.
Well, it'll be interesting how everything really gets mixed, and how this new concept, this dedicated national team of guys that you've put together can really play and practice together. I want to ask you a little bit about KQ, Kevin Kembao, and of course Kai Soto. You've handled Kai before with the World Cup team, of course, and now Kevin Kembao is going under your tutelage. What do you think, having seen these two guys, and of course we know how big their potential is, and let's include Carl Tamayo there, and very quickly, the ceiling of these 3 players can be, Tim? Carl,
all 3 of them
Carl, KQ, and Kai.
Yeah, all 3 of them are difference makers. We had all 3 of them in the World Cup, not in the World Cup team itself, not the final, but they were all in the pool. So I had a lot of access to Carl Tamayo. He was only there for maybe a couple weeks, but we got to see him for a couple weeks, and I remember sitting around with the coaching staff, and Coach Kirk Collier was there with us at the time, and Josh, and we were looking around, and we were talking about the different players, and one of the conversations is, who would be the guy that could dominate the PBA? All these players, who could dominate the PBA? And we had 20 guys there at the time. And they all said, outside of Junmar, it would be Carl Tamayo. If wow. Carl Tamayo ever played in the PBA, he would be the most dominant player in the PBA.
Wow.
And so, that's quite a statement.
That is.
And these from coaches that really know. And I've always remembered that conversation. Kevin came in and played with us for quite a while. Got to see a lot of Kevin, and in many respects, I thought he should have been in the final 12 because he was really that good, but he was just a little young, and I can understand why he wasn't included at that time. But skills-wise, he could have very easily made the final 12 and made an impact because he's that in-between guy that really we lack oftentimes in our lineups in the national team. That guy that's 6'6", 6'5", 6'7", that can play multiple positions. I mean, the kid showed in Dubai that he could play point guard and be a really good point guard. So that's amazing to be able to have a guy at 6'6", 6'7", and point guard position. That's something we'll explore as we move forward. And then Kai, Kai's Kai. Everybody's, when the PBA players, they're in the PBA and they focus on the PBA. The Japan players, they're in Japan and they focus on Japan. But Kai is a different animal. His focus is beyond our leagues. He's still very much involved in trying to get his way into the NBA. He has NBA agents and they are still looking for ways. People forget that Kai is only 21 years old. And so, we only had him in the World Cup for probably less than a week before the World Cup happened because of his back issues. So I didn't really get a chance to work with him that much, but I'm really good chance to work with him now.
Yeah.
But again, this is the thing that's over time. We're not going to get these guys for, one conference and be able to try to improve them.
Right.
We're going to have a little bit of a time here and a little bit time here and a little bit time here, but hopefully it's cumulative and we get a chance to get them better.
All right. Well, I have a few more questions I want to ask you. First thing is, what will be the first metrics for you, Coach, in terms of measuring the development and the progress of this team? What specifically, what do you think will indicate that they're doing okay together?
Well, for me, it's always been about, in all my teams, the teams that I've always coached, it's always about chemistry. It's about how guys play together. We're going to be a team that moves the ball a lot, probably more than people want us to. Probably say we'll overpass or we don't play with enough pace, or they'll be saying, a lot of people will be saying stuff like that. But we're going to be a team that moves the ball a lot and moves people. We're going to move the people and we're going to move the ball. And that's going to be our primary thing. And to do that, you have to have great chemistry.
Right.
So if we are moving the ball and different people are scoring and everybody's involved, that usually creates a good chemistry. And if that's the case, then we've got somewhere that we're going to. In the meantime, we want guys to be really dedicated on the defensive side. Defense is not something that's really around the world, even in the, obviously in the NBA, and it's not something that's taken as seriously as it was in the past.
Yeah.
And I think that can be a difference maker for our team. I think we can go out and shock some teams out there with our ability to play defense. And so if we're defending and we are sharing the ball, then those are indicators that we are growing and will get better.
While you said that it may be a year-to-year thing for you, but obviously this 4-year window with the next World Cup being the target, is that the ultimate goal for you in this journey? What would be that if you had like one or two?
I think the ultimate goal for the SBP is to make the LA Olympics.
Okay.
I think that's the ultimate goal. That's what they're really looking for. I mean, we still have a chance for the Paris Olympics. We're going to go to the qualifiers in June July. The games are actually in July, but we'll leave in late June. And, we have an opportunity to qualify there. It's going to be a tough road with Latvia playing at home and Georgia, top 20 team. And then on the other side, Brazil, Montenegro, all top 15 teams. We have to get through all those teams and, to have a chance at the Paris Olympics. But, it's really difficult, but not impossible. We're not going to go out there with the idea that we're just going to show up and try to look good. We're going to go out there and try to win. And that's always going to be our philosophy. That'll always be our goal. It won't be our focus, but it will be our goal. Our focus is just to get the day-to-day, the process of getting better every day. But the goals are to win. And but ultimately, in the 4th year, we want to be playing in the Qatar World Cup. We have to qualify first.
Yep.
But we're going to be playing in the Qatar World Cup, and we want to be finishing first in Asia and get a berth in the LA Olympics. I think that's been clear to me. That's the goal of the SPP.
this is going to be an exciting next few years for Gilas Pilipinas, and of course for you. You know, I know your kind of work, the work that you do, and of course the dedication. That's why, personally for me, it's so exciting, and I know for many more Filipinos, the millions of Filipinos that follow basketball. Before I let you go, Tim, you know, this is your second tour of duty as permanent head coach of a national team. What would your younger self in 1998 tell your older self in 2024 as you embark on this journey?
Wow, a lot, you know. But you know, it's just that I there was so much I didn't know back in '98, so I wish I could be the one now telling '98 what I could have been done, because I think we could have won a gold if I knew what we were doing back then. We really came up short with a bronze. We really felt we had a chance to win the gold there, and that's why it was so devastating to not win the gold and only come home with the bronze, because we really felt we had a shot. We had a team that could do that, and we came up short. But I think that, you know, now that I'm older, I think I know how to handle pressure a little bit better. I think I know how to relieve pressure from my, you know, from the players a lot better than I did in the past. You know, where we can focus on the game and not focus on not losing or not, you know. And I think one of the problems is that we always, Gilas, we're so concerned about letting everybody down that we play beyond ourselves and not within ourselves, and that causes us some problems. And I think that we can learn from that as well. So there's still a lot. And I think that also the program itself just has to be very transparent. It has to be, we have to keep everybody informed of what we're doing and what our vision is. We want to keep the fans involved. We're actually having I'll announce it now, we're having a send-off practice on the 19th. We leave for Hong Kong on the 20th. We have a send-off practice on the 19th in the Phil Sports Arena that we're going to open to the public.
Nice.
At 6:00 on at Phil Sports, and that's kind of just, we just want to, you know, be involved with the fans. We want the countrymen to see who we are and to want to be a part of things. And I hope that's a precursor to the fact that we sell out Phil Sports on the 25th when we play Taiwan.
Yep. I'm sure.
I think this team was going to bring a lot of excitement. I hope the countrymen all get on board.
I'm sure that we will all be behind you. I'm sure that the Phil Sports Arena will be packed just to see this new version, and of course we will be there with you on your journey in the next 1, 2, 3, or 4 years. Coach Tim, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I wish you all the best, partner, and I'm sure we won't be playing golf anytime soon, but that's good for me. At least I can beat you the next time we play. Thanks so much, Tim. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Mga kaibigan, ang head coach po ng Gilas Pilipinas, walang iba kundi si Coach Tim Cone. We will be with him throughout this journey and hopefully get him back on the show as we move along with Gilas Pilipinas. Alright, bago po tayo mag-break, isa muna pong pagsilip sa mga viral videos at pop culture sa mundo ng palakasan sa Stop and Pop. Well, ang title po ng video ito ay Sports Knows No Age. Walang kinikilalang edad. Panoorin niyo po to kung bakit, ha? Bakit po, kung ika nga, kita niyo po yung batang-batang yan, ha? Tungkol sa isang napakabatang fan, ha? Sa murang edad, kita na agad ang passion niya para sa laro. Abay, napatindig pa yung bata. Ganito rin tayong malamang kapag engage sa mga paborito nating teams. Pero makikita niyo, pure fun, pure joy, and of course, sports knows no age sa Stop and Pop. When we return, ang ating pong mga kapanayam, Alex Eala, our tennis sensation sa Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Joyride, at Arena Plus. Ang oras po natin, 9:18 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by M2 Tea Drinks with malunggay, okra, and luya. Drink your gulay and fuel up on energy with M2 Tea Drinks.
I dare to dream big. to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day. Plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Sherry. Totoong usapan, totoong buhay. 92.3 Radyo 5 True FM. Dito tayo sa totoo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Dear Sky Cable subscriber, switch to Signal's postpaid plan and enjoy up to 3 free months with no cash out by showing your Sky Cable Pay TV bill. Apply online at qrco.de/signal apply. Message us at m.me/buy signal. Call #88-555 or visit a Signal store. Learn more at qrco.de/switch to Signal. Promo ends March 21, 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Per DTI Fair Trade Permit number FTEB-181755, series of 2023. #Move on to awesome. #Move to Signal.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Naimbag bigat kada kayo amin sa lahat po ng ating mga nanonood sa 1PH on Signal TV and of course mga nakikinig po sa Radyo 5 92.3 True FM. Kinakamusta rin po natin ang ating mga suki mula sa Saudi Arabia na nakatutok naman sa Facebook Live ng Power and Play. Alright, at this point mga kapatid, gusto lang po nating pasalamatan lahat po ng ating mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play na patuloy po na ika nga ay nagbibigay sa inyo ng mga balita at ng mga impormasyon. Maraming po salamat of course sa Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon mga kapatid, sa umaga, iinit, tapos lalamig. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom, tibay protektado sa pang matagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo 7 Pro Hybrid, easy on the fuel, stylish, and with advanced functionality features. This is the Cherry Tigo 7 Pro Hybrid, equipped with a panoramic sunroof, power tailgate, wireless mobile phone charging, and a 360-degree around view monitor, plus a 48-volt mild hybrid system that lets you drive with ease and optimal fuel consumption. Perfect for work, road trips, or other personal journeys. If you're looking for a classic car that boasts new technologies and fuel efficiency at the right price, and look no further, enter the new era of green mobility the practical way with a Cherry Tigo 7 Pro Hybrid. Visit www.cherryauto.ph for more information or test drive at any Cherry dealership near you. You can also check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Cherry Auto Philippines for the latest offers and updates.
Thank you,
Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Super excited na kami sa pinakabagong super serbisyo ng Joyride Super App. Ito ang aming Joyride Super Taxi. Maganda at bagong sasakyan. Super luwag pa ng trunk space para sa inyong kagamitan. Full-time at professional na mga drivers. Pwedeng parahin at pwede ring i-book sa app. At higit sa lahat, walang dagdag presyo at dimetrong pamasahe. Isa na namang handog ng Joyride Super App para sa mga super sipag na mananakay na Pilipino. Super serbisyo ng dimetrong kasundo. Yan ang taxi. Yan ang Joyride Super Taxi. Available sa Metro Manila.
Thank you!
717 Deli, serving quality, classic, premium sandwiches. Treat yourself to a feel-good meal today, located at 3rd floor, 53 Connecticut Street, Green Hills, San Juan. 717 Deli, keep you smiling with every bite.
Thank you!
Arena Plus. Mahilig ka ba sa sports betting habang nanonood ng laro? Narito ang Arena Plus. Manalo at manood ng live sport kahit saan. Arena Plus ang official sportsbook partner ng PBA, MPBL at EASL. Kasama pa ang mga astig sa court na sina Jordan Clarkson at Scottie Thompson as official endorsers ng Arena Plus. Keep it fun. Game responsibly. Download Arena Plus app now in App Store or Google Play. You can watch it also on arenaplus.ph. Sa Arena Plus, astig sa sports.
Thank you!
Skin, your face and body anti-aging center with branches at Alabang Town Center and Green Hills, San Juan. For your skin assessment and treatment schedule, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886.
Thank you!
M2T Drinks with Malunggay, Okra and Luya. Drink your gulay and fuel up on energy with M2T Drink, your natural source of electrolytes. M2T Drinks with Malunggay, Okra and Luya.
Thank you!
And Smart, live more today. Maraming pong salamat sa lahat po ng ating mga sponsors.
Thank you!
Alright, at this point, we put the spotlight on another of our sports celebrities. Sa ating pong portion na pinakihintay niyo yung lahat, ang ating In the Spotlight. Siya po ang ating Philippine tennis sensation and recently, she won her first professional doubles title sa WTA Tour. Nung nanalo siya po sa W50 Pune, India, kasama po ang kanyang partner na si Darja Semenisteja. Of course, siya rin po ay ang PSA awardee for Tennis Player of the Year. Walang iba ang ating pong itatampok sa ating In the Spotlight. Walang iba kung hindi ang ating pong Philippine Tennis Pride, Alex Eala.
Alex, it's so good to catch up with you. First of all, Happy Lunar New Year to you and of course to the family. I hope you're... is there any celebration there back in Mallorca?
Well, Lunar New Year is not a big thing here. Coming from the Asian side, I think I will miss the celebrations and everything, but I'm glad to hear that everyone's happy and excited to celebrate the Lunar New Year.
Well, I'm sure Daddy Mike will have a pancit somewhere there for the for the celebration. But you know, talking about happy, well, it is a happy start for many of your fans and of course for you and your team because of a fantastic beginning for the new year. Not only for the Lunar New Year, but for 2024. You know, you had your first pro doubles win. Of course, your personal high in your WTA rankings. The PSA award for tennis also was given to you, and of course, a very strong showing in your first couple of tournaments. How does it feel to kick off 2024 that way, Alex?
Wow, when you put it all in one sentence, it feels really good. Sounds really good. Yeah, but I think the past month, I've been through, a lot already, some ups and some downs. So I'm happy that people are seeing the positives. I'm also happy to see that the hard work during the preseason is showing, and I'm confident. I'm happy with the level of my tennis. So hopefully tuloy-tuloy na yan.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about your ups and downs, and of course what has happened just before. Your build up towards this particular season. But busy is an understatement for you. Tournament after tournament, and even in your break, you still have to train and you still have to work on your game and of course on your conditioning as a professional tennis player. No, because not many people understand this. Hindi namin naintindihan what are the demands sa isang pro tennis player like you. How much do you value days away from the tour?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think that both either is valuable. Days on the tour and days off the tour. I think that me and my team, we have formulated a good schedule with a good balance that makes me excited for both. That keeps me motivated to train, keeps me hungry to compete, but also appreciate the time that I have to rest and disconnect.
Yeah, and that's very important because again, of course, you're still very young in your pro career, but sometimes there's such a thing as burnout o yung bang medyo pagod na. And I know that you spend a lot of time with your family. During that time, what was the best part of it that I guess is helping you at the start of your of the tour this year?
Yeah, I think especially being in Asia and being close to home, that made a difference. I was able to see my family more, spend the holidays in Manila. Well, Christmas, New Year's not yet, but yeah, and I think that burnouts can come in different levels. It doesn't always need to be like a super burnout na hindi mo na kaya. Sometimes it will just be burnout that has been building up over the past couple of weeks, being stimulated by so many different things, especially when you're traveling a lot and when you're very busy. But I think that that's not just specific to an athlete's life. I think that's with life in general. People get burnt out, and it's natural, and all we can do is try to anticipate and prevent that.
And of course, reconnecting and getting a fresh start obviously helps. Well, talking about a great year, you had your first professional doubles title very early in the year, and you won of course, the ITFW 50 in Pune, India, with your partner. Ironically, she was also your opponent in the singles, si Darja Semenesteja. Tama ba yun?
Yeah.
Okay, I pronounced that okay. What did you like about your game? I mean, in that particular doubles partnership, and of course, in the way you played in India for that particular tournament, ano nagustuhan mo sa game mo, Alex?
Well, I think in regards with the doubles, maganda yung chemistry namin. Mabait naman siya, and we're friends off the court, so I think that really helped. And I think that being comfortable with each other and communicating a lot on court was the key to our success that week. And I think with the whole tournament in general, I was able to be mentally strong and tried my best to execute my game plan.
Of course, Darja is from Latvia, and she is a higher ranked player, but again, your partnership proved really to be a very successful one. Any particular aspect of your game that you worked on during the off season that you noticed had really good effects and marked improvement when you played your first couple of tournaments this year?
Well, I worked a lot. Pre-season in general is a time, I think, for the athletes to really build on their fitness and their physical strength. So I did notice some good improvements. And I think with regards to like specifics, maybe technique or certain patterns, I need to give it a bit more time to see it through and really stick with it and see how it fits into my game. Yeah.
As you mentioned, you had very good success in the doubles, but in the singles, it was up and down for you. Although you did finish 2023 on a high note, getting into the finals in your final tournament back in 2023. Of course, you reached the semis in the ITFW 50 in Indore, India. Also, and again, a very impressive one at that. Let's talk a little bit about that. Where do you think are you trying to be more patient with, and that this is something that will come? Where do you think, naman, that there's a little bit of a concern?
Well, I think that at this point, I feel that it's minor details. It's not something, just small adjustments. Of course, I've been working a lot on my serve, like always.
Yes.
Footwork, and then trying to step into the court, sticking with my identity as a tennis player. So just those little things, and I think that falls into the category of things I need to give more time to see the results. Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, you had your ups and downs in the first month, particularly. You had the early losses, for instance, in the Australian Open, and of course in Abu Dhabi as well. But you went far in India in the singles. Given all of that, Alex, what's your outlook on winning and losing on tour? At this early stage of your pro career, how do you, I guess, keep your sanity? Or kasi ang hirap dun eh. I mean, you have to pick yourself up every week and come out strong. And it's not necessarily always a good week. But what is your outlook there?
As you said, I still have my career is quite fresh. It's still new, but from what I've learned, from what I've experienced, like losing doesn't get any easier. I'm passionate about tennis, and it's difficult to not feel emotions after, especially a big loss. But you have to just go through it. You cannot avoid feeling bad about losses. You cannot avoid you cannot avoid those negative emotions. What I try to do is just give myself time to process the loss, and then after I have to move on, because then I'll focus on my next tournament, which will probably be the next week, or my next training, or anything. But it's important that I move on. And as tennis players, we lose almost every week that we play. So you have to learn to lose.
Bigyan mo nga kami ng idea then, Alex. When you finish a tournament, is there like an exit interview? Is there like an assessment that you do? Basketball players, I know that, particularly with coaches, that after the game they start reviewing the whole game and the tapes and everything. Technically, what happens after a tournament for you? Do you sit down with all of your coaches? Do you review video? What is it? What is done?
Yeah, we do that. Not just after the tournament, it's after every match. Win or lose, we have to talk about what happened. Every match you have to learn. And there's always something that you could have done better. There's always something that you didn't do quite right, or that was missing in your game. So it's important to identify that, and then so that for the next match you're able to work on it.
Well, there's a lot of coaching. There's a lot of, support that comes from your team, particularly in a very emotional and psychological roller coaster in a professional athlete's life. In your case, what helps you the most to get through that roller coaster ride?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think of course, the team is a big part of that. I they believe in me so much, and they put their faith in me and they work hard to help me succeed. So that in turn gives me a lot of confidence, self-esteem as well. And then you just have to believe that you're going to do it. And accept that it's normal to lose, accept that it's normal to have bad days, and also learn to disconnect a little bit. So not to dwell on negative emotions or not to dwell on certain losses.
Maganda nga yung nangyari sa'yo. Even after Abu Dhabi, I saw your Instagram post, of course, being with the ambassador, being with the fans, and that's such a refreshing thing to see in terms of support being given to you after your tournament there in Abu Dhabi. And again, Alex, you had your best ranking so far, a historic one at 184 WTA ranking, the highest for any female Filipina tennis player. What does this tell you about how you are developing? Is this something that's significant to you?
Of course, it's my career high, so I think I'm playing the best tennis I ever have, and I'm always trying to compete with myself, to push myself to be better, to reach the goals that I've put, and I think that it shows improvement, it shows maturity, it shows progress.
Is there a particular number that you are looking at? Not only this year, but at stages of your career. In other words, nababagalan ka ba with your pace? Or nagugulat ka ba with what's happening? Is there a particular number in mind?
I think tama lang. I think I'm on track. Syempre, at some point of my career, I'd like to hit number 1. But the specific number. But I can't, of course, I always want more. But I can't rush myself into things and expect things to happen very fast. And I think with my junior career, things unexpectedly started to speed up. Like everything just went so fast. So with my professional career, I think that the higher you get, the steeper the mountain is. So
that's right.
You have to give yourself time and just keep working, keep your head down. And I know that one day I'll be where I want to be. Well technically, I'm happy with where I am, but
progress will come, definitely. More progress, and that's what your family always says. Patience is such a virtue in terms of your career. Pero for us again, na hindi masyadong marunong o maalam sa how the WTA rankings work. How do you get to that number? Is there a number of tournaments that you've got to play? Of course, you have to win to get to certain points, but is there a minimum number of tournaments? Is there a minimum number of players at a certain rank na kailangan mo labanan?
That's very complicated. That's a very it's a detailed system.
Diba, Alex, you can play in, kagaya nito, yung ginawa mo sa India, you played in a W50. Meron naman mga mas mababang tournaments, no? So, are you all hitting now W50 tournaments? Is that the way it goes?
No, so there are many levels of tournaments. So there's the ITF Tour, and then there's the WTA Tour. So it's the higher the tournament is, the more points you get. And the higher the higher the round, the further the round that you achieve, the higher also the points. So there's always a corresponding number of points to your result.
And it's your choice. It's your choice which tournaments you want to join.
It is that's okay. It is your choice which ones you enter, which ones you choose to enter in, and it will depend if you can get in the list. So kunwari, you enter inside a tournament that has a draw of 32 people.
Right.
there will be maybe I don't memorize, but 20 something that will get in directly, maybe 23,
Mm-hmm.
because the others will be qualifying and the others will be wild cards. So
Okay. Okay.
if, for example, 30 people enter for main draw, not everyone's gonna get in, so it goes by ranking. So
Mm-hmm.
if the higher ranked players join, then
Yeah.
more higher
You
ranked
get
the lower ranked players won't be able to get into that tournament.
In other words, you get bumped off because there are higher players that come in.
Yes, yes,
And so the quality also of the competition becomes higher, and
yes.
I guess the
So of
points
course,
also.
if in the higher tournaments there are more higher ranked players, so it will be
Mhm.
more difficult for the lower ranked people to get in.
Do you prepare differently for instance, a major like the Australian Open, and for a ITF tournament or a tour event in the WTA?
No, I don't. I think it's important to have a routine, and I've
Mhm.
kind of crafted a routine with my team that is optimal for my performance. And of course, you have to adjust day by day how you feel.
Mhm.
And I think that also helps mentally. Doesn't make it such a big deal, but
Mhm.
you still have the drive for each tournament.
And obviously you work on this schedule with your team, and all the people that are working with you, and so far it's been so good with all the schedules coming up, and I'll ask you about that at least for this year. Let's talk about another matter here. You were awarded the Tennis Player of the Year by the Philippine Sports Writers Association, and again, just a wonderful recognition for you. Again, at your very young age. How significant is that, Alex?
Well, I'm very honored to accept awards off the court. It doesn't happen to me very often, but I'm super glad that my progress has been making some waves in the Philippines, and I hope that it's another step up for Philippine tennis as well.
Sabi nga nila, you are the face of Philippine tennis now, and particularly, of course, in the international scene, because that's where you really play. Um, do you feel a certain sense of responsibility to grow in terms of the growth of Philippine tennis, or is this something that you'd rather not have, or you'd rather not bear at this time of your career?
I think, well, my priority right now, of course, is myself. This is also my first time going through this journey, so it's not guaranteed that I'm going to be, success is not guaranteed for me. And I think that inspiring the youth will come as a consequence if I continue to work hard and if I continue to focus on myself. Um, and as for Philippine tennis, I think that we have such potential in the next generation, and I think that we have capable people in the Philippines who um, would be able to bring the sport alive again.
Well, that's coming from you. That's very, very important, given the fact that you serve as an inspiration to all of these younger tennis players. Of course, there are many, many of that, but the youth brigade is still just getting ready, and the new generation of tennis players, led by you, of course, is just starting to move. Alex, of course, with that, with all of the accolades and all of the achievements, the fan base has grown and is continuing to grow. We see your fans. You mentioned in your IG post that how thankful you are for the Filipinos in Abu Dhabi. Your reaction to the fan support.
Wow, just wow, because especially in my last turn in Abu Dhabi, wow, I felt all the love from the people. The stadium was filled with Filipinos, and I was able to meet the ambassador, and all the staff from the embassy came to watch my match. So I'm super glad that people are appreciating tennis and appreciating my progress. So I think I owe it to them, and I owe it to my family, the people who believe in me to work hard.
Well, working hard is working always towards a goal. For 2024, if you had 3 particular goals in mind, what would that be? And what are you most looking forward to in 2024?
That's a good question. My first goal would be to join all the 4 Grand Slams.
Grand Slams.
So 1 out of 4 na yon, yung Australia.
Mhm.
So we'll see. We'll see. My second goal would be, hopefully in one of them, I'll qualify to the main draw.
Wow, of course, yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
and 2020, maybe break top 150 at some point.
Wow.
So
That'll be
those are my 3 goals. Hopefully, I'll be able to achieve.
Yeah, well, those are lofty goals, but definitely achievable. And you've shown it in the past. And of course, we've seen a lot of players reach that, the pinnacle of success, even with lesser exposure. So, and lesser training. So definitely, we're looking forward to that, Alex. No, okay. Well, just as a few questions left here. Your plans moving forward? What tournaments have you lined up for you? At least, I know it's very difficult to say maybe the second half of the year. Pero itong like February and March, what are the plans for you, Alex?
Actually, yung alam ko lang is my next 3.
Okay.
Because of those cut-offs that I said, that I tried to explain. It's difficult. But I stay here for 1 more week here in Mallorca to train, and then I head to Portugal and for 1 week and 2 weeks in Slovakia.
Okay. So, and those will be the tournaments that you will be joining. And of course, the next Grand Slam is still going to be Wimbledon. I don't know, French Open, no?
French Open, yes.
French Open first. All right. So you'll be going around Europe this time just to get a better feel of, I guess, the conditions. Great. Are there any projects out of tennis that you're working on?
Projects out of tennis. Nothing I can say on the top. No, not really. Trying to read more, just try to disconnect from the court. Yeah.
And I guess yung mga supporters and endorsements mo, those are also things that obviously take up a little bit of your time. Well, you're back in Mallorca. Did you miss anything? You were away for a while. No?
I haven't been here since November. So
what did you miss most with coming back there to your home, to your second home there?
Probably the people, the academy. It's been a while, so it's cold now. So I'm starting to miss the heat, but I'm excited to be back at the academy and say hi to all the people there.
Well, we are excited to see you continue your success that started really in 2024, and we look forward to more tournaments, seeing your name up there with, of course, your podium finish. Yeah. Alex, thank you so much for joining us today. Happy Chinese New Year! Enjoy the pansit. Sabihin mo kay Mike, your dad, pakainin ka ng pansit para masaya ang Chinese New Year. Thank you so much, Alex. Yan po mga kaibigan nating panayam sa ating pong pinagmamalaking si Alex Eala na ngayon ay nagbalik na sa Europa para po paghandaan naman ang mga susunod niyang laban patungo sa yung sinasabi niyang Grand Slam tournaments. Of course, mauuna dyan ang French Open. Alright, at this point, bago tayo magpatuloy, magbalik tanaw muna tayo po mga kaibigan sa some of the best moments in sports sa ating pong This Week in Sports History. February 8, 1936 o 88 years ago, ginanap ang pinakaunang NFL draft. Ipinatupad ang draft para maiwasan ang bidding war sa ng mga kupunan para sa mga amateur players.
Pinakaunang top overall pick si Jay Berwanger na nakuha ng Philadelphia Eagles. Umabot ng 9 rounds ang draft kung saan 81 ang nakuha. 4 na manlalaro mula sa 36th draft ang nagtapos na naging Hall of Famers sa pagtatapos ng kanilang karera. NFL's inaugural draft this week in sports history. Alright, yun po sa mga nagpadala ng kanilang opinion sa ating pong pinupulsuhan ngayong araw to. Gusto ko lang basahin yung ilan ha. Yung ilan po dyan. Oh, by the way, dun po sa mga nag-aabang kay Congressman Mike D. ng Philippine National Sports or Shooting Association, we will have that interview next week. Kasama po si Cong Mike. Siya rin po ang chairman of the House Committee on Sports at marami tayong pag-uusapan kasama po ni Cong Mike. Again, thank you Cong Mike. We'll see you next week. Napakabait po niyan si Congressman Mike D. Of course, he is the sibling, the brother of the SBP Executive Director, si ED Erica D. Alright, doon po sa pinupulsuhan natin, sabi ni Art Castro, ang tanong natin dito, ano ba ang pinakamalaking moves doon sa NBA trade deadline na sa tingin nyo ay magkakaroon ng impact sa kanilang mga teams? Sabi ni Art Castro, for me yung Bogdanovich Burks to Knicks because they will add instant offense sa team. Good move on their part. Ganon din ang sinabi ni Ederico San Gabriel Agonia. Sabi niya, Boyan Bogdanovich and Alec Burks, mas naging solid ang production nila sa 2 and 3 positions. Pareho nakascore sina Boyan at Burks at may depensa pa din ang former. Mula naman kay Ryle DCME, sabi niya, Pat Bev to the Bucks knowing struggling sila sa defense, especially sa perimeter. Si Jess Gonzalez, ang sabi niya, good morning po, Com Noli. Wala namang masyadong matinding galawan. Tatama yan sa NBA trade deadline except doon sa New York Knicks na na-acquire si Boyan Bogdanovich at yung Oklahoma Thunder. Maganda rin to ha. Nakuha ng veteran na si Gordon Hayward. No significant movement naman sa trade deadline. Steady lang muna mga superstar sa kanilang mga current teams. Mula kay Ashen Azure Knight, wala! Sabi niya, wala! Alright mga kapatid ha. Alright, doon po naman sa mga nanalo sa ating pong Joyride Top Up promo ngayong araw pong ito. Gusto nating i-anunsyo ang mga pangalan. Si Myrene Umandal, Adora Dumaging, Steve Del Castillo, Joel Andalis, and Alexis Villanueva. Congratulations, you win 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super App. Para magamit nyo sa delivery and sa lahat po ng mga services. Joyride MC Taxi, Joyride Super Taxi, Joyride Taxi Cab. Lahat po yan ay magagamit nyo yung 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits. Siya nga pala, shoutout sa ating pong kaibigan na si Jess Asibuchi ng Joyride Marketing. Happy birthday! Birthday pala ni Kuya Jess. Happy birthday! At kay Abigail Santos. Sino ba may birthday? Si Abigail o si Jess? Ha? Si Jess. Okay. Shoutout din po kay Abigail Santos. Happy birthday. Alright, yung nanalo naman ng ating Joyride Limited Edition Aqua Flask last week. Ito yung nagpadala ng kanilang creative picture. Tingnan na nga natin to. Yan. Ang nanalo po ay si Rema Anwar, ang pasahero ng Joyride, at ang driver partner si Jeremy Baselisco. Nanalo kayo ng Joyride Aqua Flask mula sa Joyride Super App. Alright mga kapatid, that'll do it for us ngayon pong araw ng Sabado. Sana po yung naibigan nyo lahat po ng ating mga ipinalabas. Magsama-sama uli po tayo next week. Nga pala, next week babalik na ang inay ko po ha. Kasama na si Tina Bersola. Wow, maganda yan. Abangan nyo po ang pagbabalik ng inay ko po dito sa 1PH. Siya nga pala, yung mga naghahabang sa atin sa 1PH, mukhang nasa cable po sila ng Signal TV ha. So again, wag po kayong, wala na po tayo sa free TV pero nasa cable po tayo ng 1PH Signal TV. Alright, lagi po natin sinasabi tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit, at sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid. More power, more play.
sa kapwa ko Pilipino. Ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko. Para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo. Ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulot, sumbe, sibay, lakay, amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko